Hello everyone! Today we are going to be going through the apply phase of this unit. Okay, so just a really quick overview. So for this next part of our unit, we are going to be completing a project. And I want to preface by saying this, you only have to do one of the options I'm about to tell you. Let me repeat, you only have to do one of the options I'm going to tell you. All right, so just a really quick overview of the options you have. I'll go into more depth on this in a hot second, but you have the option you can make your own fairy tale video, you can make a podcast, and you can make a mini book. So I'll explain that in a minute. But really quick, I just wanted to show you guys this. So this is your student assessment rubric, and this is how you're being graded throughout this entire unit so far. So this project will be a part of this, and there's a lot of different requirements. You're welcome to look at this as long or as little as you would like, but here it is for your reference. Okay, so option 1, make your own fairy tale video. I really like this assignment. I think it's so cool seeing students and what they create. But some of your basic instructions for this project is create your own fairy tale by making a video/play. You're allowed to be as creative as you want as long as everything is school appropriate. You must have at least 3 different characters, 2 different settings, and 1 problem. It's best to make a script before you start the filming process. And I want to add to that, when you make a script, you actually will be submitting your script. So I probably should change that to submit your script below. But you will make a script for this and you will make the finished video. So those 2 things you will turn into me. But to submit those, you will submit it to the Google Drive link. And in that Google Drive link, there is a video folder, and then there's also a script folder. So it is very clear in that folder. So if you have any questions on that, let me know, but it should be pretty straightforward. Oh, and I also want to say in this section, you are welcome to use real people, but you're also welcome to use just inanimate objects or just like little pencils or puppets. You are welcome to do whatever you want. Okay, so option 2, make your own podcast. So hopefully you all know what a podcast is, but if you don't, it's really, really popular right now, but it's basically people will just talk about stuff. And you've probably heard of sports podcasts, or there's a lot of like pop culture and like famous people podcasts and stuff like that. But it's people just talking and sharing their opinion on their perspective of a certain topic. So we're going to do that with fairy tales. And this analysis is going to be really cool. So you will create your own podcast and analysis of a fairy tale, and you are allowed to be as creative as you want as long as everything is school appropriate. You must talk about at least 3 different characters and their character traits, 2 different settings, and 1 problem. It's best to make a script before you start the recording process. And again, you will submit a script for this, or even for a podcast, because sometimes thoughts just kind of come up in your conversation. I also want to preference, you are welcome to have a conversation with someone. It doesn't just have to be you straight up and talking to just nothing. But it is best to have a script or even just a list of topics. I will take anything as long as I can just see that you had some sort of plan of action through this podcast. That is all I need to know. So again, very similar to the video, you are going to submit it, by the Google link. And also, and I need to probably preference this with option 1, but for option 1, you are welcome to use any platform. I highly recommend iMovie, but for option 2, you are welcome to use, you can use iMovie as well, but there's another program called Spreaker, and it's really, really friendly to kind of new podcast people, and highly recommend that. So again, you'll submit all that to the Google Drive link, and there's folders in there that will walk you through it. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. Okay, and finally, but definitely not least, option 3. So you have the option to write your own mini book. So if you're not really a video person and you're not really like a talking person, but you really just want to like type it out and write out your perspective, you're welcome to do that. So you will create your own fairy tale by writing a mini book. You're allowed to be as creative as you want, as everything is school appropriate. You must have at least 3 different characters, 2 different settings, and 1 problem. Also, you must draw 3 different pictures to include in your story. This is different than the other 2 options. And I also want to say, if drawing is not your thing and you're like, oh no, I can't draw for the life of me. Literally, if you just want to go online and find some cool pictures and just go to Google Images, I'm okay with that. That is totally okay. And then another, for submitting, you will submit a finished copy of your story as a PDF file. And to do that, all you're going to do is, and if you need help on this step, I'm so happy to help you. But basically, I highly recommend doing this in Google Docs, but you will go to the Google Doc, and then you're going to hit like File, you're going to hit Download, and then you're going to hit over and you're going to go PDF, and then you're going to hit that button, and then it's going to come up at the bottom of your screen, and then you're going to double tap that, and then you're going to, I believe it's left click, and then you're going to save as, and then you're just going to say like mini book, and then you're going to save that down into your computer, and then we'll submit it to the Google Drive link along, kind of similar to the other projects or the other options of this project. So if you need help on any of that PDF stuff, just let me know. That is we can totally do that. So those are your 3 options for the project. And below, I attached 3 different examples of what you can do, and it's just a nice little explanation of each one, and it gives you some ideas. So the first option, I won't play it, but it's called Princess Sharpay and the Lost Cap. I highly recommend watching it. It's very funny. And option 2 is my version of a podcast with Houdini the Owl. And option 3 is a mini book, and it's just like a little mini story I wrote. I think it's like Princess Kelsey or something like that. So anyway, those are some of your ideas. If you have any questions, if you need any help, feel free to email me. I am welcome to help you out. So thank you so much. Alrighty, bye-bye.